Good morning, boys and girls. Today I'm gonna kind of walk you through the assignments you have in Google Classroom. We this week we brainstormed our favorite foods and we thought about them. And now I'd like for you to write a CER paragraph about it, which means that we're gonna. So our question is, what is your favorite food, and explain. Um, Complete in a CER paragraph. Try to use at least two compound sentences. Now, if you want to use more, that's fine. Now, I'm going to think about the first thing we got to do is do a claim. We got to restate an answer. So I would say my favorite food is evidence. Um, I can use reasons. I can use examples, and then I end with a reasoning sentence, and I start that with in other words. Now we did CER when we're talking about text evidence. Our evidence is always the text says, but this time you're the expert and you're going to give your influence. Now, before we get started, let's think about what a compound sentence is in case you forgot. A compound sentence is two simple sentences that have a subject and a predicate, and they're joined by a coordinating conjunction. And those are fanboys. Think of fanboys. So that's for, which is a fancy because, and is nor, be is but, let's see, o is or, y is yet, and s is so. So I'm going to try to use those sentences, but now remember, on each side of that, on each side of the conjunction, you have to have a simple sentence, which means you have a subject and you have a predicate. So let's get started. I'm going to do an example, and then you'll be able to do one of your own. I'm going to hit tab, so that makes it indent. So remember, the first thing you do is you hit tab, and you say, my favorite food is carrot cake because it is yummy. Now, I could have just said my favorite food is carrot cake, but I wanted to go a little bit farther because we're in third grade and we need to have 7-up sentences, which means 7 words or more. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 words. So remember, we're going to try to use 7-up sentences. That means 7 words or more, 7 or up. So here we go. My favorite food is carrot cake is yummy. Now I'm going to use a transition word first. It is my favorite kind of dessert. I love the cream cheese icing. And I'm going to try to do a compound sentence. I've got to think about it. And the more icing there is, the better it tastes. Did you hear my phone? It's ringing, but I'm going to just keep on going and keep trying to work on this. So I don't really like that sentence. So let me go back and reread it. I love the I love the cream cheese icing, and the more icing there is, the better it tastes. So so let me check. I love the cream cheese icing. That's a sentence. The more icing there is, the better it tastes. I think that's okay. I'm still not happy with it. I might go back and change it and revise it, but right now I think we're okay. I'm gonna do a personal story. Let's see. I love the sweetness that the carrots bring to the cake. And the nuttiness, I guess I would say in the crunch of the pecans. Now let me look at this. Is this a compound sentence? I love the sweetness that the carrots bring to the cake. That's a sentence because what do I do? I love the sweetness and so forth. The crunch of the pecans. Okay, that's not a compound sentence because the crunch of the pecans is a subject, but there's not a predicate. So I don't have to have a comma there. Now up here, notice I did put a comma before my coordinating conjunction. So that's good. So let's see. Now here's my personal story. One time, Mr. David surprised me with a carrot cake on my birthday. He searched everywhere and could only find one at Sam's Club. It was huge. And I see a blue line. I'm going to go back and look at it. He searched everywhere and could only find, I left out a word, one at Sam's Club. It was huge. He didn't like carrot cake, so he bought a cheesecake too. Alec and Avery pretended to like the cake, but do you hear the announcement? I'm going to just wait a second. If you are parked in that area, if you could please move your car. Technology is trying to get a vehicle on the playground to mount some hotspot technology stuff. Sorry. They can't get it in because there's some cars in the way. So if you are parked in the two middle lines, but on the line that's closest to the fire lane drop-off line, if you could please move your car, they appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. I put it didn't. I meant to say David. Okay, he didn't like carrot cake, so he bought cheesecake too. Alec and Ava pretended to like the cake, but they thought it was horrible. I didn't mind because that meant more cheesecake, more carrot cake for me. In other words, I think I've given lots of stuff. In other words, carrot cake is delicious. And I'm going to make another compound sentence. And I will always remember my family tried to love it too. Now here's the secret before you ever turn in your writing is you always read over it one more time because it never sounds like what you think it does. So I'm going to go back up to the top and read it. So I have my C. My favorite food is carrot cake because it is yummy. First, it's my favorite kind of dessert. I love the cream cheese icing. I've got a compound sentence, and the more icing there is, the better it tastes. I love the sweetness that the carrots bring to the cake and the crunch of the pecans. One time, now here's my personal story. So I kind of described it, and now I'm going to give a personal story. One time, Mr. David surprised me with a carrot cake on my birthday. He searched everywhere and could not find one, and could only find one at Sam's Club. It was huge. He didn't like carrot cake, so he bought cheesecake too. Alec and Ava pretended to like the cake, but they thought it was horrible. I didn't mind because it meant more carrot cake for me. In other words, carrot cake is delicious, and I always remember my family tried to love it too. That is my example. Now I want you to write your own example, and I'll have a clean copy, and and you can type on this, and you'll submit it to me or to Miss Duckett or to me, and we'll read it. Remember, I need you to have at least two compound sentences. I need you to indent, and the way we indent on the computer is we hit tab. I need you to have you restate your claim. You need to have evidence, and you need to have reasoning. I think you can do this. Take your time. This is a 2-day activity, so I don't want you to be in a rush. Remember, we have to capitalize our first words of our sentence, and to capitalize, you hit shift in the letter. If you're looking for the comma for those compound sentences, it's underneath the K. It's underneath the K. If you have any trouble, just let me know. I think it'll be great. And I'm afraid that reading about all this yummy food will make me want to eat more. But I'll try to have self control. Have a great day, and I hope to see you soon.